Wiggy is so ignorant, 617 text, when it comes to Drake May. Why would you want to start somebody when you have absolutely no chance of being a playoff team with him or without him? That is directed at you.
Okay. So here's how I'd say with my ignorance, right? I would say the reason why I would do it is to get him as much experience as he can his rookie year. So in his second year, he'll be way more comfortable when it comes to the NFL game. He'll have seen a lot of things. He'll have gotten live reps. He'll have made mistakes. He'll have taken hits. He'll have done all the things that comes with actually playing versus just sitting on the bench all year. And then his first time of live reps, we now have to wait another year.
And I would say to that a-hole 617 going after Wiggy is not ignorant about this or anything. I would say simply, then what's the point of playing anyone this year? If they're not going to be a playoff team, then why would you play Osborne? Why would you play David Andrews? Why would you play Onwenu?
I think the argument would probably be that you spent considerably when it came to the draft on Drake May.
Right.
It is the first time in a long time that you have had a top 3 pick.
Right.
So that would make him different than anybody else that is on this team, Chris.
Right.
But Drake aside, don't you as a team want to know what you have quicker than waiting another year? Like, even if Drake May is not going to make or break this season, I want to know what we have instead of just prolonging that for another year. Like, don't we want to get back to the postseason? Don't we want to get back to championship status? Putting off who we believe is going to be the future of this franchise for another year isn't going to help us.
And what was the last time the Patriots made the playoffs? Oh, it was when they started a rookie quarterback.
Right. And I would always say this to people who say that. I would say, okay, then explain to me or give me a good reasonings on why sitting him for the year will. What's the good reasoning for sitting him?
Well, I guess
that's the biggest thing.
The easy win is he doesn't get hurt. Doesn't get doesn't get his head knocked off.
You're guaranteeing me next year that you're going to shore up the offensive line position.
Well, I would assume they would. I would assume that they have finally figured out. Right. I don't know why they didn't during the offseason, but they have finally.
What if they
finally figured out that 5 is an issue for them, right?
So all right. So,
but even if he gets hurt, let's say he gets hurt and it's before Thanksgiving. Given the way that people deal with the worst kind of knee injuries today, he'll be back for training camp. Right. He'll be back for,
whenever.
Like he'll be okay.
Aaron Rodgers is back from Achilles.
I hear this argument a lot. So this is from a 603 texter. Hello to New Hampshire, home of one of the all-time great road shows at Bernie's. You don't want to. You start him week 1. And then you end up sitting him week 6, and his confidence is ruined.
Yeah, well, I would
confidence.
Why would you sit him? If you're gonna start him, then you ride it till the wheels fall off.
Good or bad.
And if you thought he had confidence issues, you probably shouldn't use the 3rd pick in the draft on him.
Well, you know what people will say, and then this.
But see, the argument, Curtis, is that is what some people think that's what happened with Mac Jones.
No, what happened with Mac Jones is that he arrived in camp. They replaced McDaniels with Bill's drinking buddies, and he didn't buy in.
Yeah.
So Bill turned on him, and everything went downhill. We all remember what Bill Belichick said. When Mac arrived for his second training camp, he made, what was it, unprecedented growth or dramatic improvement?
Dramatic improvements, yeah.
And he was good his rookie year.
Right.
But here's what people will then say, and then this is where I flip that switch for that ignorance. People will then say, sit him this year. You're going to stink anyways. Then you'll have a pick in the top 5. And then you know what people will say? Use that top 5 pick to get a left tackle. Okay. So now Drake May, his first year as a starter, is going to be next to a guy who his first year at left tackle, he's going to be a rookie.
Yeah.
So, like my wife always says, make it make sense. That math ain't mathing.
So let's just say they go 10 weeks, the Patriots go 2-8 with Jacoby Brissett, and then Drake May comes in. What do you gain?
Right.
You watched, Greg, you saw Jacoby Brissett in the last preseason game.
Yes.
That was a Mac-esque interception.
Yeah.
What did Drake May learn? What is he gaining by watching that?
Nothing.
Wiggy, you know better than anybody.
Right.
You gain by experiencing real-life events. He can't do that. And it's not like he's watching a talented guy.
Well, you know the thing, Curtis, and this is where people are frauds on to sit Drake Maye, is because when I ask the question and I say, what do you gain from sitting Drake Maye all year long versus what is the reward from playing him all year long?
Here's an answer for you.
Yes. Other than getting hurt.
From the Subaru of New England text line. It makes no sense to start a rookie quarterback who is still having problems under center and let him get hammered for 5 weeks. That will make him skittish in the pocket going forward.
But we use that all the time. It's like, other than, he could get hurt, he could get hit, he could get hit, he can get hit. What's the difference if it's his second year and he's getting hit? That could still make you skittish. But if Mac Jones, I don't think Mac Jones ever had an issue when we talked about him where we felt like, he got hit too much and that affected him as a player, like he was skittish.
Right.
I don't.
Now, here's the text. I don't like it, but I'm going to read it. How did starting a rookie, a freshman quarterback work for you, Coach, at Brockton?
Well, freshman's different, though.
That's unfortunate.
Yes. You got to understand. One was barely hitting puberty, and the other one is a grown man. He
doesn't look like a grown man, though, Drake Maye. He looks like he's 19.
He has a baby face.
Yeah, he does have a baby face.
Yes.
But it's a lot different when you're talking about a kid who's barely hitting puberty and he's going against 18-year-olds.
Here's Dave from Natick. Hello, Dave.
Hey, good morning, guys. Great show.
Thank you.
Nothing as an NFL draft pick is certain. We take 5 quarterbacks in the first round. There's 4 or 5 elite quarterbacks in the league that play for 15 years. So your batting average is going to be around 20% no matter what you do. But keep in mind that there are quarterbacks like David Carr, who was a number 1 pick, Drew Brees earlier in his career with the Chargers, Jake Plummer, and a bunch of other guys that had really porous offensive lines that their success was hampered by the fact that all of a sudden they had voices in their head and they were seeing linemen coming at them and really ruin their growth. So
totally different time, Dave. Totally different time. The quarterbacks could be hit like crazy. The NFL today protects the quarterback far more than Jake Plummer and Drew Brees were when they came into the league.
Well, but if you're still in your mind saying, I've got 2.5 seconds to get the ball out and I've got a average at best offensive unit, you're not going to be successful as a quarterback.
But how did that hamper Drew Brees' career? I mean, he went on to have a Hall of Fame career.
Right.
When he went to New Orleans, he was a different quarterback within 1 season.
Right.
So earlier in his career, he was average at best. And then when he went to New Orleans, he was highly successful with Sean Payton. So
isn't that more about the coach?
Right. I mean, he was in a better system that maximized his ability.
Similar or better argument might be Peyton Manning's first season.
Bingo.
Am I right?
I mean, there's plenty of guys that
What did they win? 3 games?
And he had the record for 28 interceptions in a single year.
I mean, there's plenty of guys you could look. Joe Burrow played his first year. He looks like he's pretty good. Josh Allen played his first year. He looks like he's pretty good. Who else played their first year? Justin Herbert played his first year. He looks like he's pretty good. There's plenty of guys that have played their first year as rookies, got hit, got beat up, and still turned out to be pretty. Drew Bledsoe played his first year, and was really good. He didn't get a little bit skittish until later on in his career.
And I would say this: give me an example of a top 10 pick sitting out a year, watching a mediocre quarterback and having a good career. I'll wait.
Can't find one. You're not going to.
Tom Brady was behind Drew Bledsoe. As much crap as we give him, Pro Bowler. Patrick Mahomes sat behind Alex Smith. Pro Bowler.
But Brady wasn't even a top 10 pick, so
that's a good point.
Brady lucked into that.
But I'm talking in general, find me somebody that sat behind a mediocre quarterback for a season and then had a good career.
And when it comes to the argument, the original argument in the 617 text, so you're going into the season, you're not a playoff team. Wasn't that the same situation with Houston?
Yeah. Same exact situation.
Prior to C.J. Stroud?
Yep. They were 4. I think they might only won 2 games or maybe 4 games. I can't remember. But they stunk. They got C.J. Stroud. Turned out well. I mean that it's just the way the NFL.
Hold on, you idiots! Aaron Rodgers was behind Brett Favre. Ever heard of him? He's a Hall of Famer. Won 3 straight MVPs in the '90s. Follow it.
The way the NFL works.
Watch something about Mary.
And it's and whether it's today's game, when I played, or in the '80s, the way the NFL works, or it probably even goes back to the '70s, when you draft a guy who's a top 5, top 10 pick quarterback, and your team's not very good, you play that guy. Dan Marino came out, what was it, 83? Played his first year.
Super duper.
That's what the expectations are. Unless, like Curtis said, you're behind a guy that is an established pro that has shown he's a very good starter, and that situation might be like, okay, we're going to sit Rodgers because he's behind Brett Favre. We're going to sit Patrick Mahomes because he's behind Alex Smith, who would show like, okay, I can win playoff games. But even look at the Tua situation, they ended up starting Tua throughout later on in that season. And, he was behind a journeyman backup.
He was behind Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, and you even have Lamar Jackson. He was behind Joe Flacco, who won a Super Bowl but didn't even finish the year.
You draft that guy with the expectation that we have to play him. Because in the world of football today, how long are you waiting for a quarterback to see if he's the guy or not?
Right.
It's 2 years at best.
There's a lot of calls on this, but we got to take a break, so we'll get to those calls coming up.
All right, big rejoin coming up for Jackson.
with Sunday looming. Maybe you are excited because you see Drake Maye come out as the one with the ones on Sunday.
Won't that make the season better?
Yes.
Like, we know they're not going to win, but won't it make the season better to just be like, all right, we can watch Drake Maye every play, every down, every game to see what we